So you can just start and say your name and go into your story.
Sure, okay. My full name is Maria Lovely Umayam. My first name is Maria Lovely, so it's a two-part name. Maria is considered my Catholic name. My name is Lovely. So Lovely has an interesting origin. It's sort of a joke in the family. Apparently, and I don't have any means to corroborate this, but according to my parents, they decided to play a game when I was born. At that time, I only had, my family only had one child, my older sister, and they pulled all of our family members together, and they decided to pick a name out of a hat. So everyone contributed a name, put it in a hat, and they picked a couple. The joke is apparently the name selected was Wendy. Someone really liked the name Wendy. But my sister at that time was learning English. We were at the Philippines at that time. So she really gravitated towards the word lovely. But that wasn't picked. But since she was like a kid, the only child, a bit of a brat, she threw a tantrum. And so everyone relented, and that's why I'm named Lovely. Maria, I think, was just, the word for, I guess, Mary, the name Mary, Mother Mary. But it's really interesting because I've been reading up about Maria. It's in my two-part name, that's usually put on the sidelines because it's not really interesting. Again, it's kind of appended as just an afterthought. I mean, I am in some way spiritual and religious, but not necessarily, the Catholic I think my family wants me to be. And so I've kind of put it on the side. But I've been trying to read up on it a little bit more. And apparently Maria has Egyptian roots that actually means beloved. So if that's true, my name is Beloved Lovely, which is a lot of love. Lovely is a difficult name to have because I think people assume that I have to embrace that lovely identity. A lot of people like to joke, oh, you're such a lovely person, which is nice. I can't shy away from that. I like being associated with such a positive thing. But that's not necessarily who I am all the time. And it gets really frustrating and annoying because as a small Asian American woman, I already have these barriers, assumptions about me that I'm not threatening at all. I mean, looking at me, I'm not the most threatening looking person. And on top of that, my name is Lovely, right? And just in the workplace and really day to day, I have to really fight that kind of complacency that I have to assume or embrace because my name is Lovely. When in reality, I want to be assertive, I want to be fierce, and it's been a push and pull because my name says that I should be a particular thing. When people meet me for the first time, they definitely pause and say, okay, sure, that's great. And, most of the time, people are happy and excited and just interested. I'm always greeted with what a lovely name, or someone's sang me a song before about my name, and it really brings out the vibrance in people, especially really good, welcoming people. But others, I've definitely encountered situations where people will do the double take and feel kind of uncomfortable about it and just don't refer me as my name. If anything, they use Maria. And it's really subtle, it's not like they tell me up front that they think it's strange, but it's more of a feeling. So in that sense, my name's become sort of a screen, kind of like a litmus test of who is comfortable around me and who's not, and I really take that seriously. For in a professional environment, I know it's a lot harder for people to say or introduce me as Lovely Umayam, but people do, and I respect those people, and they obviously understand and welcome my identity. But there are those who do not. I'm definitely I don't want to sound horrible, but I do distance myself because of that negativity that they bring in our dynamic. I think there was a point that I didn't really like lovely. It was just too weird. It's an English word. It's an adjective. It's almost presumptuous to call myself that. And I think a lot of people's discomfort come from that. Just not really understanding why someone would name their children Lovely, or in this case, sister, sibling, Lovely. And for a while, I just felt so uncomfortable with it. But I think the challenge is it brings, in terms of having to introduce myself with confidence, people accepting me for who I am and me not shying away from that. I think that's how I've come to really love it in the end. And it's still a struggle. Sometimes when I travel and I'm part of, in a professional setting, I still get jitters, and I know that just overall, and I know that part of it is the fear of people not taking me seriously because of the way I look and also my name. But I think I like the fact that every time I have to introduce myself, I have to be a little bit more courageous to really present myself, my identity. So a lot of my reflection has been about my second name, Lovely. And I think moving forward, I really want to focus on how to embrace Maria. Again, it's just kind of put under the rug. I don't really identify with it. Again, it has Catholic roots, but doing preliminary digging and trying to see where its origins are, and maybe I could really find my own interpretation of it and also embrace it. Because I hate it actually when people would rather prefer to call me Maria instead of Lovely, because again, if you're given the choice, if you're more comfortable with Maria, that says you're not, at least to me, you're not comfortable calling me Lovely. But I guess, now that I'm older, it doesn't have to be that, clear cut. And I think it's really on me to explore what Maria can hold. I also read somewhere that in the Philippines, the language is Tagalog, and Maria is a Latinized name for dawang. It sounds completely different, but it has the same sort of name meaning, and that is actually associated with fairies in the Philippines, or at least that's some of my research produced. And that's interesting to me because then that gets into Filipino folklore and the motherland that I was born in but kind of forgotten, and I think that there's just a lot of missing pieces with Maria that I really need to focus on and learn about more. And I think I have a really beautiful two-part name, Maria Lovely, and that's very unique, and I think I have to do my job now to thread them together and really find meaning with those two. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Yay.